Hello everybody and welcome to the CREWCast. Little bit of a intro on this one because we had a little bit of a tinkle. We had a little bit of a technical wibble, but I have salvaged the podcast. But there will be times during this, only for short periods, where Lou does sound like he's got his head in the bin. Well, and I mean, it's not just because he is a trash panda, because he is. He loves a good little scuttle around a bin. I mean, you've never seen him happier than when he's just rolling around in a good old trash can. Or it could be the fact that his microphone wire was maybe playing up a little bit. You decide. But either way, this is a fun podcast. We're back. We've got a new whiskey. We've got some tales to tell of going to get Lou's motorcycle, which he will hopefully be joining the rest of the crew on very, very soon. And so hopefully we'll be able to get some ride outs aimed for maybe Boxing Day, if that's a thing. Maybe we could sort something out like that. Let us know. And then also we'd let you know we're going to be getting back to the Q&As, back to the good old standards. So keep an eye on my Instagram, Lex_fitness. Keep an eye on the Black Country Barbell and Lewis's Instagram. And we'll be asking you some questions on there for next week's ones. And the whiskey tastings are back. The cigar smoking will be back. And the fun stories are definitely back with this one. So enjoy Lex and the Trash Panda.
CREWCast. 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 Give it up for the CREWCast.
We ballsed it. We missed a week. It just, it was Halloween.
What's going on?
It was my birthday. There was family stuff on, and we just couldn't get it in.
No.
Like your first time,
That's
when
what
the
she
date
said.
goes all the way, we just couldn't get it in.
Nope.
But we've come back. We've practiced, and now we're better at it.
We can get it in now.
We're getting it in.
Yeah,
So-
lots has gone on the last couple of weeks, right?
Yeah. Lots. And we've got Christmas around the corner already. Hang on, this feels wrong. I'm still in my sweats from the gym. Let's go. Yeah.
I'm really hot as well, actually.
String it in.
I don't know why we're both... It's because it's cold as shit outside.
Outside.
Literally the last 3 days. What the hell's happened?
I know. It's like it forgot it was winter, or supposed to be winter, and then the clocks changed, and the seasons went. Oh yeah,
Yeah, November's just
isn't
like...
there something we were supposed to have done? Oh yeah, freeze.
Yeah. You can have the cold now that you've not had for the last couple of months. So, yeah, everyone layered up and everything at the moment.
Yeah. So we're back on it with the whiskey tasting.
Yeah.
We're going to get back on with the whiskeys. I know we've missed it a few weeks in a row. We've been drinking the same stuff. And we're too young and youthful to be drinking the same thing all the time.
We are.
So to combat our young and youthfulness, we've got something old.
Ancient.
So now we don't have the vring microphones anymore to do the opening of the crew chest.
Forgot about that. Are they knocking around in here?
So instead of a nice
Play it like a
instead of a
guitar.
nice noise, all I've got is 2 bits of metal. So let's open the chest.
Oh, it's locked. We got some Evan Williams single barrel vintage.
So this is a glorious looking bottle of whiskey. It has a glorious wax top.
They went all the way. They waxed it.
It's an
Waxed it halfway
hourglass.
down.
It's like an hourglass figure. It's a little bit sexual, but this is a 2012 bottled in 2019, about to be drunk by two idiots.
Seems a waste, right?
But this is it. So it's a Kentucky bourbon. We've had this discussion before. Evan Williams Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, single barrel vintage, 43.3%. So it's a nice old kicker. And the best part about it, on the back, it has this. I'll get the video thing out so you guys can see it. On the back, you can see it's handwritten. It was barreled on the 1st of the 19th. Oh, it's American, which means it's the 19th of the 1st. One of the two.
No, it's going to be American.
19th of the 1st, 2012. It was barrel number 4, and it was bottled on the 19th of November in 2019.
Yeah.
And
Handwritten as well, which is quite nice.
But it's small batch when it's like that, so you know there's some care gone into this.
Yeah.
There's a little book on the side of it as well. This will make a really nice gift. If you're looking for Christmas gifts, well, we'll try it, obviously.
Yeah.
It might taste like bum, but I doubt it. And Evan Williams Kentucky Straight Bourbon.
Yeah, so when I was looking at these...
Because it was my birthday.
It was Lex's birthday.
Yeah, we've got to
when
say
when
that.
was it now? Like,
November the 1st is my
so
birthday.
A few days ago, right?
All Saints Day. Yeah.
Oh,
See,
sorry.
how far a fine line is that? You've got Halloween
Yeah.
one day, so you're a ghoul or a ghost or a demon.
Yeah.
Next day, All Saints Day.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so if you weren't born on that one,
Yeah.
you're not evil. You must be the opposite of,
Yeah.
and be godlike. Well, no, are saints gods? No,
Saintly.
just saintly.
Yeah.
Nah, that's a bit shit. I'd rather be a demon. At least you got powers.
Yeah.
What have saints got? Robes.
Yeah.
Maybe
conscience.
a statue. A bird poop statue.
Yeah.
A conscience.
Yeah. That'll be in some like stained glass windows in a nice church.
Yeah, maybe. But so yeah, where did you pick this up?
Just a local whiskey shop near me. I went in there armed with your favourite drinks, saying like this, that, and the other. And then out of
I hope you really literally said he likes this, that, and the other. Like,
Yeah.
we know exactly what you mean.
I've got just what you
We've
need.
got what you need.
And then there's just a box which is just like shit we can't sell. It's like, yeah, this is exactly what he would like.
Just under the counter. Shit we can't sell, and one for the dum-dums.
Yeah. So yeah, this was one of the recommendations. There is another one that I got Lex as well, which you'll see next week.
Yeah, and that is so somebody commented. Oh, he sent me messages about these. I got a few people messaging me about the Elijah.
Oh, yeah,
I want to call it
Elijah
Elijah Wood. Elijah Craig.
Elijah
so the
Craig.
love child of Daniel Craig and Elijah Wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
It should taste short and sharp, yet heavily bodied.
And
you seen
hairy-footed.
Have you seen Elijah Wood now?
Yeah.
He still looks pretty much the same, but with a little belly.
Yeah, I know. It's quite bizarre, isn't it?
But has refused to change his jeans, so he's still wearing the same size jeans as when he didn't have the little belly.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
disturbing.
yeah, I know. Oh, I'll tell you what I was watching as well the other day. No, not the other day, literally today. You know, on YouTube, they've got these things now where it's actors break down their iconic roles.
Yeah.
Really interesting. There's
Yeah.
some cool ones there, especially Christian Bale's is a brilliant one to watch because he's got a few in there. He's got American Psycho, Batman, and all that. The guy who plays the Riddler in the new Batman, the like spectacle wearing
Oh, yeah.
lunatic.
Yeah.
In real life, he's made of butter.
Yeah.
He's not cool at all.
Yeah.
He's not cool to listen to. He's super boring.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's like pure, like he looks like you could push your finger through him.
Yeah.
He's an I think when he sits, he looks like a question mark. He's just not cool. Don't watch it. It takes away from his roles because he's a good psychopath.
Yeah.
But when you see him as a normal person, he's got his side parting. He's super doughy.
Yeah.
He's like really skinny fat.
Yeah.
So he's actually really quite high body fat. I think he's more body fat than he is anything else. I think he's replaced organs with the body fat. I couldn't even listen to what he was saying because I was just looking at his shit. He looks like he's melting.
Yeah. So yeah, I can definitely see how that would take the edge off.
Yeah.
The
ruined it.
fear factor.
Because now
he's
when
there trying to murder you, and then a fucking a gust of wind blows him over.
He's just flubber. It's like he's actively tried to reduce body muscle. It's like he's gone about, but without getting obese.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird.
He's found the sweet spot. How can I capitalise as much muscle as possible?
Whilst just maintaining a full 40-year-old man's pooch.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, not cool.
How did this come about? What were we talking about?
Elijah Wood wearing jeans that were too small for him.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not even the fucking whiskey that we've got today. That's next week.
Oh, yeah, that's next week.
Yeah. So Evan Williams is today's whiskey. Do you want to read the little little book?
And this looks great, honestly, as a gift. I got it as a gift, and it's
As the gift receiver, he recommends.
It's beautiful. Like it's almost like it's like shapely. It's a shapely bottle. It's kind of sexy looking, but then it has this perfect. It's like an S&M boot for a whiskey bottle.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it's a bit kinky.
It is, but then with the colour of the bourbon behind it, it's a really nice contrast. So it says smooth tasting, high ratings.
Yeah,
Evan
this is
Williams,
kind of like
single
it's
barrel.
S&M, but not that super high tech clean S&M that you get nowadays.
Yeah,
This is
no,
like
it's just AliExpress S&M.
this is like, I don't know, the S&M that was
Do it
going
yourself.
on in Zed's basement in Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
That's what they were drinking. They were drinking Evan Williams while fucking that gimp.
Well, this is a proper little book attached to what I say. There's bourbon. There's bourbon, single barrel bourbon, and Evan Williams single barrel vintage bourbon.
Too many bourbons in one sentence there.
Yeah, there's a lot of bourbon.
Bourbon.
Typically, bourbon is a blend of many barrels. Bourbon bottled from a single barrel is categorized as single barrel bourbon. Well, they complicated that, didn't they? Who would have guessed? Evan. Nobody. Evan Williams' single barrel vintage bourbon, however, is much more. It's only single barrel. There is a lot of B's. A single barrel bourbon bottled. That is a tongue twister. It's only single barrel bourbon bottled. With a vintage date to provide proof of age. And a subtle. That's what most dates actually do require now, a proof of age.
Wow.
Into the modern era. And the subtle year-to-year distinctions found in fine wines. What a difference a date makes, especially if they're underage. Jail. Whiskey of the year after year after year. Evan Williams' single barrel bourbon continues to receive awards and accolades year after year in recognition of its superior qualities. The following are but a few. Whiskey of the... lots of just awards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 awards.
Oh, yeah, I remember he
6,
said that he had
7,
won.
8 awards.
Yeah, I remember he said that had won quite a lot of awards.
You turn the page and there's just more awards.
Yeah.
And then it says...
It's just bragging a bit.
Here's from a wine enthusiast.
Okay.
This distillery has issued a vintage Evan Williams bottled every year since 1986. And each year the whiskey has been better than the previous bottling. Whiskey lovers. Converting wine lovers.
Does it literally just say from a wine lover?
It just says wine enthusiast. That's it.
That could be anybody.
I don't know.
That's just that could
could
be,
be- that could
that's
be-
like everyone's mom, right? Yeah. I think everyone's mom would be described as a wine enthusiast, like borderline
Especially at the
functioning
end of the week.
alcoholic.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll call you a wine enthusiast.
That's what they've done. They went to the best alcoholic in the town and then got a quote. So here it is. Uncork a bottle of Evan Williams single barrel vintage bourbon for a date you will always remember. Oh, that's clean. I like that. Well done. That's a lovely little thing.
I'm curious to see how that opens because that
So-
heavily waxed, and then there's a nice little tab on there.
It's not little. There's a big thick wax tab on the side. I feel bad breaking this. It's so clean and nice looking. But I don't know if it's actually going to be a tooth jobby. How are you supposed to... Did you crack it? Oh, it's pretty bendy. It's turgid yet flexible. They've overwaxed the tab, if I'm honest.
As the muscly man wrestles with the piece of
Yeah.
paper.
I mean, I'm confused. Are you supposed to cut it, maybe?
Just grab it with your teeth and,
See, I feel bad doing that.
and just try and twist, maybe. See if that does it.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Well, as a gift, it will be uncouth opening it in front of public. Here we go. Oh, it's a big, thick pile of wax. That is. Look how deep that is.
Holy shit.
That's...
They didn't skimp
They
on the
did
wax.
not skimp on the wax. You can melt this down and make a candle afterwards.
I know.
Oof, that is a hefty tab.
It's
It's a cork. Of course it's a cork. I don't know why we doubted that would ever be there. Come on, wax. Give it up. It's been on there since 2019 though. Here we go. Are you ready, people? We're about to unleash what was it like? Well, it was bottled in 2019, so 3 years of being kept inside. Ooh, it's cheeky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, mate. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, there's lots of smells going on there.
different ones from the cork to
Yeah. Well, the cork was quite corky to start with, but then it goes away. That's from a cork enthusiast.
The cork is quite corky, but then it goes away.
It smells. I can smell almost a bit sherry-like.
Yeah, I was going
tones.
to say I can smell some sherry. It's got that like fruity,
Oh,
sweet
it's
fruitiness.
very sweet and nice.
Oh yes.
I don't think that's going to be too heaty either. I think it's just going to be warming. Now, we don't have ice with this because it is a single barrel, so you just don't. Oh, hang on.
You go,
Glug or
pour.
pourer.
It's going to glug.
You've been very particular about your glass today. You've wiped it about 8 times.
I don't know what's going on. I swear
wrong
I
with
keep
you?
cleaning it, and then someone comes in and like.
Is it inside, or is it just you smudging it up with your big
No,
knuckles?
it's all good now. It's all
Right,
good.
you're good now. Here we go. Oh, I haven't even poured it and it made that noise. It's still all in the bottle.
It's the curviness
It's
of it.
It is.
It's because it's going from that side to that side, so it's like.
It's just filling the booty.
Yeah.
That sounds like I'm pouring it and not doing anything.
Yeah.
You could pretend to pour this for people
Yeah.
and then really pour like something shit. So you go, oh yeah, I'm pouring it for you. And then underneath, you just pour in like any old cack. Oh, God, that's so satisfying.
Whoa. We got some.
Caught it. Caught the dribble. Oh, that is a dark and rich looking bourbon. That is what you want. Oh, little lid. Oh, I saved it. It was running down the side of the glass and underneath it tried to escape a little drip. Right. We don't need to wait.
We don't need to wait.
Well, we
You know
can let
what?
it breathe for a little bit. We should probably let it breathe for a little bit.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, the best bit about this is we don't
Well,
have
no,
to
it's
wait.
all right. The surprise is not over because, as you shall see in my hand, I have what looks like a
A makeup.
makeup case, but it's not. You flick the lid, and then you release, and da 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 da. Look at that. You know what that is? That is a Peaky Blinders cigarette case. So you flick the lid, and when you flick the lid, the body splits into two underneath into like a V shape and springs open on both sides. But obviously mine doesn't have cigarettes in it. It has little cigarellos. But they're not any old cigarellos. We've got Cohibas, then we've got the Juliets. So they're miniature versions of the big boys.
Right.
Which will be interesting. Now these 4 here are Juliets, and the rest of them are the Cohiba. And they're the Cuban Habanas. So, do you want to try a Cuban Habana?
Yeah, why not?
Cigarello.
Yeah. Should we save it for... We'll have our first...
We have the sip of whiskey first.
Yeah.
And then go Habana. It smells very horsey horse. I love that smell. Oh, it's a good smell. Yeah, so I got that just because it'd be cool, especially when we're out on the bikes. Because next week, Lou's got his bike test.
Yep, finally got... So I got my Mod 2 next week.
Okay.
Fingers crossed, all will
People
go well.
don't know. You got to take 2 tests. So
Yeah.
Car, 1 test.
Yeah.
Bike, 2. We don't.
Well,
know.
technically 3, really, because you... Well, 4.
Oh, CBT.
You've got your CBT, your theory, your Mod 1, Mod 2.
Yeah, but theory's both with car and bike. But then you have to do it again for the bike.
Yeah,
So
you still have to
maybe-
do it.
yeah.
You have to go. You got to
do it all again. Yeah.
So it's not a straightforward process, is it at all?
No, not
I
at all.
felt bad for the chap who I had my lessons with because he's like 22 or something like that.
Oh, he can't ride anything.
Yeah, so he can ride something up to a 5. No, it's,
It's
up
all
to a certain.
Nah,
horse-
you
yeah,
think it's
horsepower or
oh,
something.
it can ride up to a 500-600 cc, but no, it's all to do with kilowatts of power output.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he could actually ride some older, bigger bikes because the power output's low.
Yeah.
But some smaller new bikes, he's not allowed. It's a weird thing. And then what they do is they'll say, "Oh, you can put a restrictor on it," and just down tune it a bit. They just don't work. Like they're designed to have a certain power for the weight of the bike, and the ratios are there for a fucking reason. If you ever thought you could put restrictors on stuff, it's a dummy. You're gonna get in sticky situations that you can't get out of because you need the power. A lot of the time, it's safer to have the power.
So what's gone on over the last couple of weeks? Did they know about me getting the bike back?
No! Oh, we've got the tale to tell. Yeah, so what happened was, right, here we go. Because we got some funny tales for you, this one. Here we go. So in our CREWCast glasses, thank you, Mary. Thank you. Oh, Mary, your gift that you brought us at the Halloween party is not here, it's still at the gym. So we will unveil that with the other whiskey next week. And a proper thing to go with it. Yeah. Right, here we go. The Evan Williams 2012 single barrel bourbon. I just did some proper ASMR, then I gulped that right by the... Oh, that is a lot warmer than I expected.
Yeah, it's got quite a bit of.
Oh, that is a lovely heat. Right from the front of the tongue, right the way back, instant heat. That's really weird because on the other ones we've had, the heat always comes afterwards back up from your chest upwards. This is going immediate and then warming down. It's nice though. I like that.
Yeah, it's got more heat than I was expecting.
it's got a very...
Caught me a bit off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah. At first I was like, oh, and then all of a sudden it came.
Yeah, it keeps going. So it's pretty... right, second sip.
Yeah, going number 2.
Oh, that is smooth. Oh, wow. A little bit of smokiness on the second one. That is really, really, really well balanced. You've got the heat down the sides of your tongue, up onto the roof of your mouth, and it hovers at the top of the throat. It doesn't go down to the chest too much.
You've got a lot more sweetness on that second sip as well.
I got smokiness, then the sweetness afterwards. Originally, I got heat, sweet, and then not too much smoke. So smoke, I got heat, smoke, sweet then. And it's almost... There's something in there. I want to say cherry, but it's wrong. But there's something...
raisin or something?
Something like that. It's tangier than it would be like a vanilla or anything. It's definitely like a heavier sweetness.
Is it like dates? Kind of...
Yes, it's datey-like.
It's a dried fruit.
Yes. But like a rich sweetness.
Yeah.
I don't know whether we're supposed to taste that, but that is 100% what it tastes like. That is really, really nice. And it's a sipper as well. Because of that heat, it slows you down. Yeah. Because the heat lasts afterwards. So it leaves you quite satisfied. You sit back and the heat just stays with you. Oh, it's lovely, that is. That is really nice.
Happy with that.
Well, we stepped it up a little bit with this one. You went a bit above and our normal levels with that.
Yeah, well, it's won a shit ton of awards. I'd had a high recommendation, so I thought it was worth a shot. Yeah.
Ooh, that heat is still there in a good way. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it is. It's good. I wonder how it's going to change.
I can't tell what ends what.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. So, whilst I decide which end to put in my mouth, yeah. So Lou, we've done the discussion of you getting the bike, have we? Where
Yeah, we told them about that you and Mark
we basically bought Lou a bike
decided I was getting.
whilst he was asking what was going on.
Yeah, I was just dazed and confused. And
Yeah.
like, where am I?
We were like, "Do you like this bike?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's kind of okay." And before the sentence was finished, he was like, "Cool, offers in." And then within 20 minutes, you owned a motorbike after just saying, the discussion started, what would you like to ride? And he said, well, my dream bike would be the Indian. But he said, but I kind of like the bikes you ride, at which point me and Mark and myself were like two rabbits hearing a fox coming over the hill, like, ooh, really? Because we didn't know.
One more for the CBR gang.
CBR gang. Because we didn't think you would have wanted that bike at all, because you've always talked about the Indian. So we thought, oh, you're going to go with like a monster or something a bit more upright. So when you said that, we were like, we know this realm. So we were straight on, found one. Mark found one, sent it to me. I was like, damn, that's pretty freaking good. Like the price it was on for was already good. And then we showed it to you. Like, do you like that? You went, oh, actually, I do quite like that. Boom.
Yeah, that was it.
We were like, cool, offers in. And because our theory was, if you didn't like it, was on for such a good price. If you didn't like it, we would buy it anyway. Yeah. Because we'd have no issue selling it. So rather than miss it, we bought it. Well, I bought it. So yeah, we went in, we got this bike, and then we rang you, told you everything that was going on, told you the final price, and you were like, yeah, sounds good. Well, basically what you said was, please don't hurt me. Yeah, please. Yeah, I'll do it. Just please don't hurt my family. I'll be part of the gang.
It makes so much sense for multiple reasons, because like the fact that you and Mark have taken them apart and put them back together a million times.
Yeah.
If there's anything, because this is it's fairly cheap bike just to get me going, because I'm probably going to drop it. If I'm going to make some mistakes, they're gonna happen on this bike.
Yeah, and it's all original. So before you want to do it up, you can have a bash for it for a season. Yeah. And then when you get to the end of the season, be like, okay, cool, now I want to start. I'll change this and that, put this on it, and do whatnots. Yeah. But it's already got, can we just state this out? It's got a full Scorpion exhaust system on it. It's worth about 600 quid. Yeah. And you can't even buy them anymore for those bikes. A lot of the ones that the Scorpion made for that, they don't have them in stock anymore. Yeah. So it's now rare system. It's got full original fairings on it, which are in good shape, other than one snapped bolt point, which snaps on all of them for some reason. But other than that, the thing's like pretty freaking pristine.
So we're going to explain. So basically, once it was bought, it lived up in Manchester for the last few months.
I rode it back that day from Rosendale back to Mark's place in Manchester, where he kept it in his garage for you until you got your little spot sorted out for it. Yeah. So we went up to Manchester to pick up the bike, and we got the bike, and we rode it back, and absolutely nothing went wrong, did it? Which is what anybody else might have been able to tell you, but not us. No! How long did it take me to get that bike back? About 5 hours. So we had multiple breakdowns from multiple bikes. So went up. So Lou came up in the morning, and bearing in mind we planned this day out. So you set off from your house like 8 a.m. Got to mine for like 9. Oh no, did you get to me for 8?
Yeah, I think I got to you for 8.
Got to me for 8. So you set off like 7 in the morning. Got to me for 8. We're up in Manchester by about 10, half 10. Got the bike out, started up. Everything was great. Didn't seem like there'd be anything going on. Everything looked good and dandy.
There was some foreshadowing with Mark
Yeah.
Though the battery's done something.
Yeah, which we've kind of brushed over and should have paid more attention to. It's basically, Marcus said he charged up the battery 3 times since it had been there, which should have red flagged in my head, but for some reason, I didn't. My brain just went, oh, Mark's charged the battery. But the fact he'd had to charge it a few times suggested iffy-diffiness. And if you don't know batteries, what is bad is if they go flat. When they go below a certain voltage, it actually messes up the plates in the battery. It's called sulfonation or something. I don't know. That's probably a complete lie. But I know you have to desulfonate them if it happens to repair the battery because it affects their conductivity or some crap. Basically, crap builds up inside the battery. No more black magic to make electricity work. So it had gone flat a couple of times, but that wasn't the real issue. The real issue was Mark had a problem with his rec. He had then plugged in your rec from your bike into his bike to see if he could identify that his was the problem. What he didn't notice was when he'd gone to clip the clips back, they looked like it all plugged back in. So, but you'd think they click, but they don't. It's just silent. Yeah, it just slides in and then it's done. I don't think it had absolutely just clipped in, which, easy miss. Yeah, cool. Easy miss. And so we set off. Now, the job of the rec is basically, it acts as like a transistor. It pulls the voltage down and distributes it to the bike and helps recharge the battery. So with no rec, you get no recharge of the battery. So we think we set off. We went to see my mum, and your bike died at the gate at the car park to my mum's. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, it's just because it's not been ridden for a while. It's all right. And I jump started it back down the hill, no problem. And then when I came back out of mum's, it started. So we're like, all right, sweet. So then we set off, and we got about 3 minutes back in towards going town, and I was riding, and I pulled up with and all the clocks went off. Zero electricity. Bike's still running though at this point because it's still just now it's running off batteries, the bare minimum of the battery. There's not even enough power to power the clocks, and then it started, and I die. And now, so we're stuck in the middle and center of Manchester with a dead bike, and we're trying to jumpstart this thing, not knowing the regret's not attached. So Mark is now on the bike, penguin paddling it up and down the street, trying to bump start it, which is impossible because there's no charge going to the battery because the regret's not putting anything out. Because I think what's happened at this point is the clips that had the regret attached had just wiggled loose because of the bumps in the road, because Manchester roads or roads in the UK suck so bad. It's like driving over train tracks. So obviously, because they weren't clipped in, it's wiggled out. So now, but we didn't think this because we looked at the clips and they all looked intact. Yeah, we literally checked them. We pressed them with our hands. We're like, no, they look good. So we stupidly were like, oh, that's not the problem. So we had to get this bike. I managed to flat foot / freewheel this bike to an area just off the side of the road back towards Mark's house, where I pulled in, which was apparently a place where everybody dumped nails. There's just,
I'm amazed that wasn't a fucking other issue altogether, to be honest.
So we've got this bike in the nail gravel pit at the side of this road. Mark's gone back to get another battery from his house. So he comes back with another battery because, we have bikes. So we all have a million spare batteries because, year to year, you end up just changing them or dropping them in and out. We try different ones. So we dropped the new battery in. Guess what? It started up. Well, of course it did because it was a fully charged fucking battery. So we're like, boom, boom. Oh, perfect. Brilliant. And obviously, in between this, now we'd killed the other battery by multiply trying to, but in between it, we'd gone to test the clips again, remember? So I think we'd squeezed the clips back. So the contact was back in again, but again, we hadn't the thing in. So we started up, the bike seems fine. It seems fine going out of Manchester. It seems fine going fast out of Manchester. It seems fine when I miss the turning off the motorway that they're now on, that Mark then does take off, because he was behind me and I was ahead. Mark forgot to remember that I have the navigational sense of a retarded pigeon. So I go, but annoyingly, as I'm going past where I'm going off, Mark goes, so you're not turning off then? I'm like, clearly not. And then as I looked, like a truck was literally on the left-hand side of me, the biggest truck ever. So there was no way of me even getting across. So I was like, I guess not. And then I said to him, I'm pants on this thing. I was 100% requiring you to say next turn in like half a mile. But it's just one of those. But it actually turned out to be a benefit because Mark did pull off on that one. as his bike came to a grinding halt at the side of the slip road of the motorway because his battery starts dying. Literally, within 30 seconds, I'm on the motorway doing 80 miles an hour, no clocks. And I'm like, oh no. And so I now don't know where I am. Oh, because your bike doesn't have a sat-nav holder or anything. So I've got my phone in my pocket, no sat-nav on, which is why I missed the turn. And which is why Mark didn't think to tell me either, because normally I have my sat-nav. So he'd forgotten I couldn't see maps on my bike. And he'd also neglected to remember dead pigeon skills. Yeah. So he's now dead at the side of the motorway as no clocks comes on. And I'm like, well, that's foreshadowing. And then luckily it was Knutsford, I think it is, services, coming up and left in half a mile. No, it was like a 2/3 of a mile.
Yeah.
I made it to half a mile and had to pull over. No hard shoulder. I'm on one of the stupid smart motorway, my butt cheeks. Dumbass motorway. Death motorway, in fact. Super death motorway. So I pulled over into what can only be described as a gutter with the bike completely dead, rang you. This is the funniest bit.
So like, I'm in a car because me and Lex drove up together. I drove him up there so he could then ride back. That's how we obviously like logistically managed it. So then I was following behind. Well, attempting to. Obviously, they lost me in Manchester because it's fucking Manchester and they're on a bike and I'm in a car. Yeah. So as I get the phone call coming through, I just see Lex walking with the bike on the side of the motorway, not on the fucking slip road. And like you were like, I broke down. I was like, I know, I've literally just seen you. But I'm in the outside, like I'm in the inside lane. Not able to like get over to stop anywhere near because I'd have gone like a mile down the road before I'd have been able to pull up. But yeah, fortunately you were really close to the services. But you couldn't have timed it any better. So and then Mark phoned me, and I thought, oh, Mark's phoning up to give me an update about Lex. And then he was like, and I'm broke down, and I'm there fucking driving back home, and I'm just like, both of the bikes are gone. Oh god.
So it gets better.
On different.
Well, it was lucky that I didn't pull off where Mark pulled off.
Yeah.
Because I was able to waddle it to the services, but not before the police stopped me.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say that the bike that we were riding wasn't my bike, because for all intents and purposes, we'd made it my bike. Now you can work that out for yourselves. So as they pull up behind me, I'm like, oh no, please don't do no checkies. Well, it turns out he wasn't. He was just checking that I wasn't pulled over on the side of the road to have a chat on the phone, just like a prick. Fair enough. And then I said, oh no, battery's died, I'm just going to walk into services. Is that okay? I did expect him to half be waiting for me at the services because motorbikes get nicked all the time. So he might have thought it had been dodgy or something like that because obviously I was talking on the side of the road. Luckily not. I then rang the AA and found out that apparently I hadn't taxed #mybike since 2020. I've been on tour around France. I've been riding all the time.
Yeah. Oops.
There's just no way I haven't taxed this bloody thing. But apparently they haven't received. Whose tax have I been paying? I've been paying somebody's. So when I went to ring the AA, it gets better. Because at this point, I've sent you off to try and find a battery. Because I'm like, find a Halfords, find something, see if we can get a battery.
Yeah.
I mean everywhere. Every store that had the battery, it wasn't charged.
Yep.
It wasn't ready for sale. Why are you stocking batteries with no charge, people? Charge one. Have one on the shelf. If you got 8 in the back, have one ready to go.
I physically went to 5 different shops and phoned up another probably 4 or 5 on top of that.
You've gone so far off that like it wasn't even worth you coming back to me because you had to be back down to see Emma's dad and whatnot. And we were like, okay.
I should have had hours of time to spare.
Oh, we had planned the day so effectively. So I'm sat in this car park now on my own, trying to ring around battery places, and then sending you wherever I find whilst you're also trying to. And then Mark then has managed somehow, he got his bike started again. He's managed to get his back home. He then drives back out to me in the car. Fair play to Mark, man. Jesus. with another new battery. Yeah. Well, not a new battery, another battery from his garage.
Old battery.
So it's an old battery, but not dead.
Yeah.
We swapped that over. Then we double check the rec reg clips. And as Mark gets his Yorkshire mitts in there with dad grip, we hear this dink. Yeah. And he was like, fuck's sake. I was like, what? Reg rec was unclipped. The whole time, reg rec was unclipped. So we put this in. Bing! Bike starts back up. We measure the voltage because he brought a voltmeter. It's revving up as it should. So when you rev, your voltages increase and then they drop down again when you stop revving. And that lets you know that your reg rec's working, stator's working, everything's doing as it meant to, yeah. And absolutely, back on the bike. It was about 5 p.m. at this point. Mark, the poor bugger, had to drive like another 3 miles down the motorway to just turn around because it's on the smart motorway. Dumbass motorway. And so he gets back, and then I bean it on down, and it rode absolutely beautifully the rest of the way. And because I was late, I may or may not have tested its upper end speed. And yeah, I can say it handles very well. Yeah. So it was eventful. It should have taken us. We should have been back comfortably by like, I don't know, 2 p.m. We were planning to come back, have a coffee, look at the bike and admire it. Yeah. As it was, you got a picture of the bike on my drive as the sun was setting behind it.
6 o'clock in the afternoon.
And it's currently now sat in my garage, nestled in between my CBR and the old girl's BMWs.
So yeah, it was eventful, and hopefully, some point next week, I might actually be able to get out on that. Then, assuming all goes well and I pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed, and then maybe we can get out on a little ride.
It's never like how boring would it have been if we just said, "Yeah, we went to pick up Lee's bag, rode it back, it was all good."
I did say that. Didn't I? I was just like, at least we got a good story to tell.
And it was like one of those
multiple
as well.
breakdowns, multiple bikes.
Yeah,
on multiple motorways at the same time.
And it's like most people, people could have gone. At that point, like when I'd been sat in a car park for like 2.5 hours, and I didn't want to leave the bike because I didn't have a lock for it or anything like that. So I literally sat on the bike for 2.5 hours. Just
not that anyone could have nicked it.
If
they could have got it started.
Yeah, some people might have got annoyed, and some people might have been like, because it was literally a missed clip by Mark who'd taken him out to test it on other things. So some people could have got mad, shouted at Mark, been like, bloody hell, you should have bloody this and that, which would have been some people's reactions.
Yeah.
I actually just sat there and made a point of saying to Mark, we're all not perfect. Yeah. I literally said it out loud because it's so fucking true.
It's so easily done though, isn't it?
It just made me think because he does so much.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there's loads of people who have that person who does loads for them. But then they take advantage of them because they get used to that person doing loads for them. So then when something goes wrong, they're like, well, it's your fault. That's your fault. Hang on. How many times have they got you out of this shit or whatever? You know what I mean?
Mark didn't have to do any of that. He was doing all of that just to be nice to me and you, really.
But I mean, and it didn't bother me because I literally wasn't bothered because me and Mark have been in that many situations with bikes generally all the time. Yeah. It's just like part and parcel. It's a bit fun. The only annoyance was for me the fucking stockists not having the batteries. I was more mad at the stores for just not having the battery in. Like they have it in but not charged. What's the fucking point?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was an eventful time. But it did just make me think when you are. When you have people helping you, when you have people doing things for you, appreciate them. And people, when they're doing a favour for you, if something goes wrong, always remember, they've been doing you a fucking favour in the first place. They didn't have to do shit.
Yeah.
They don't owe you anything. They're doing it out of the goodness of their heart.
Yeah, so exactly.
Show them some fucking appreciation. If shit goes wrong, stand by their side and let it fucking go wrong together and try and sort it out together.
Yeah. Because I felt really bad because at basically towards the end when I was like miles away from you guys and you thought and no, this was when you'd figured it out and you'd fixed it and I was like, shall I come back up then?
Yeah.
Because then I'd have met you on the way and I was running late for my appointment that I'd already kind of got booked in and you and Mark were both like, no, it's all good, you've got it. But I still really felt guilty. I was like, even though I physically can't do anything, I'm just so I could be there.
Just turn and go, thanks.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because I didn't get to say goodbye to anyone properly because I still had your bits in my car.
You did.
Because I was intending to go back to Lex's afterwards, but because it all ran late, I ended up having to go straight home, head back. And I felt guilty for not being able to thank everyone properly. I think I left a voice note or something on the night the next morning or something like that. But I don't know, it just felt wrong how it had to I know it sounds weird, but how it ended. Because I think in my head, well, we all had this idea of, oh, it'll be really cool. We're all gonna ride back together and like.
Yeah, because Mark was supposed to ride back with me,
Yeah.
and then do the. Yeah, it would have been really cool.
It all just kind of went a bit shit. But
no, it's,
that is 100%
in hindsight,
how
though, it's good.
how it all works.
It was, yeah. But the fact that Mark's bike broke on the way down there is way better than if we'd have wanted to all go out and then his bike broke. Because now, since then, he's had to go and find the issue. So the reason his bike was broken is, again, something really simple. There was a break in some of his wires in the connectors coming out of his starter. Just a time thing issues, with weathering and stuff that happens. So now he's replacing the connectors on there, and he'll be good to go. So all of these things, like, it's all as it's meant to be, because he'll now get to come and ride on your first ride with us. Whereas if that hadn't happened and then it happened on that, he wouldn't have got to do that, and that'd have been poop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we'll get the better journey as a result of this one messing up.
Maybe next week. I really hope so.
Yeah.
Really hope so. Even if it's just an hour or something like that. Like
You won't just do an hour if you're on it.
I know.
Not
Well,
a chance.
I don't know how. That's the thing. I don't know how long I'll be able to. I think I'll have to stop more frequently. Just because one, that position is going to feel pretty alien. So I reckon it's going to be a bit hot, like harder on my body when I first went out
what
on
you're
the
going
first
to
couple
get
of rides.
when you
aching in weird places and
you're going to get stiff traps.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you'll be like,
yeah.
without realizing it. You got to do the shimmy. So this is something that me and Mark all do. We'll shimmy as we're riding. So if you start to look a bit stiff, one of us will be like, shimmy it, and we just like, and you shake it off, and you do realize like how you've become quite static.
Yeah.
Because the trick is on the bike is to stay loose, like constantly just move a little bit, stay loose, make sure that you're not tightening up and sitting like a rock.
Yeah.
But it'd be good because you've got like three generations of riders on one ride. Then you have you just passed, Mark, who is only really still in the fetal stages of bike life because he's only passed a few years. Then you've got me. I've been doing it like 7 or 8 years now, so I'm by no means an expert, but I've kind of done big tours, gone abroad. I've ridden tons of different bikes and experienced a lot of feelings on different bikes, so I'm able to kind of help. If you feel, it feels like it's doing this, it's doing that, and I can be like, I remember that was like this, and I can say what happened with me.
I wish a lot of the conversations that we've had in the past, and also experiences where like you had like the multiple different Harleys and stuff like that, because I was interested in it, but like my understanding of bikes was so little compared to, not that I know much now, but I know a lot more now. I have a much better understanding, and the physicality and the practicality of being on the bike as well.
And now having a bike gives you more reason to want to know.
Yeah, so it'd make like those conversations way more interesting, and I think I'd get way more appreciation out of it. Like when you brought the electric Harley down the gym, and like I don't know, it was amazing and really cool. But I think like some of the novelty was lost on me because of that. So I don't know, just a few things.
Yeah, that bike was fun for about 2 days, and then it was just a giant scooter.
Yeah.
And electric bikes, you can hear and it's so plasticky because obviously there's no big engine. It's just a giant battery which is covered in plastic, and everything's plastic. When you go over anything, it goes like everything rattles on it, and you can hear it all because there's no engine.
Yeah, to cover
the
mask
noise.
it.
Yeah. I didn't like it at all.
Oh really?
Yeah, I could see it'd be good if you wanted it as a city bike.
Yeah.
For like zipping around the city, perfect.
Yeah.
But doing what motorbikes do for what I love, not a chance.
Yeah.
There was a few other things that happened.
So I had the Halloween party at the gym. I was a pirate, but everyone thought I was Jack Sparrow. But I wasn't trying to be Jack Sparrow.
You were definitely.
But I did end up looking very Jack Sparrow. So then at some point during the evening, you put the Pirates of the Caribbean music on, and then everyone just looked at me and went, "Run!" Just, and I went, "What? Just around?" And they went, "Yeah, like Jack. Do it now, monkey boy."
Everyone just pressured you into doing it, and then you're like,
All right,
I have to.
I guess I'll do
And then
it.
you were so like, you did a good job, to be fair.
Yeah, off the cuff.
No, it was fun.
Yeah.
I got really high.
Oh yes, you did. And then everyone wanted photos, and you were like, "Do I really have to? I'm really high." And I went, "Yeah, you do." You went, "Oh no."
So I'd been drinking a fair bit. I had maybe, I think I'd had probably about 6 beers at this point, and then someone was like, I won't say who, said, "Oh, do you want to come out for a smoke?" Well, I know he meant some weed. So like, yeah, that's fine. Headed out, and I was using his dry herb vaporizer,
Oh, they're dangerous, those.
and it's a completely different brand to the one I have, and never used it before. So grabbed it. There was no button or anything. Just had to inhale. Started pulling on it.
Hang on, there's no button.
No, you literally just
Oh, is it? No, it heats up to a
it
certain
just
thing
heats
and then
up,
off
and
you
then
go. Oh,
yeah,
that's
you
normal,
just
yeah.
And so I was going for it, thinking, oh, this is really like it not blocked, but there was not a lot of airflow, so I was there going like
Yeah, it felt-
really fighting to pull something through. And I was like, oh, I don't think I'm really getting much here. So I was there going like a full lung, trying to get something out of this thing, and then like started breathing out, and smoke instantly came out, and I was like, oh, I have got some. I didn't realise I'd got this much, and then kept exhaling, more and more smoke, like to the point where I'm running out of what is, well, theoretically what should be air in my lungs, just going like,
Still
and
smoke.
smoke's still coming, and I was like, I've just taken the biggest fucking hit off of this, and I've not realised because it was so smooth.
Yeah. That is the danger of them, because there's such a subtle taste compared to when you obviously do a bong type thing or actually a
Yeah,
blunt.
smoke a spliff or a blunt.
Sometimes, and depending on the strain, it can be almost tasteless.
Yeah, it was super smooth. I did not realise at all until I'd got it all out, and then I was like, oh fuck. But I was like, oh, all right, well, I'll have another few, but I was much more aware.
You plonker.
But I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel high, obviously, because it hadn't really kicked in, and I was like, I didn't realise how much it was going to accelerate. Basically, because of already drinking, I was at like a really nice mellow level. But yeah, after smoking, it just went whoop, and just kept going.
Yeah, so how much did it keep going? Because I left at about 11 something, and you were still on the upward swing at that stage.
I have no idea when anyone left. I don't know what the fuck happened, man. I just know I was tidying up at the end of the night, really high. Like, I think it must have took me like half an hour to like wash up a couple of dishes. Like, I got home at like 1:30 in the morning.
Oh my God.
I have no fucking clue. I was like there trying to tidy up, but like had no lost my ability to track time. I was having like moments where I was really like chilled. It was a really nice high, but then I'd have like a moment of like extreme paranoia for like 5 seconds, and then I'd settle back down.
So basically, it looks a little bit like you're really just calmly cleaning one fork for 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden you just go, oh,
No, yeah, and it would be just like, how long is it taking me to clean this fork? What's everyone else doing? What do they think I'm doing? Because this is taking me ages. And then I'm like, oh, I best clean the fork.
Had Emma left you at this point to go home? Or was she
No,
still
no,
there?
she'd like vacuumed the entire gym.
So you
in
cleaned
the
the
time
fork.
it took me to do about fucking 8 bits of washing up. I carried on drinking after. I had after I came back in, I had another few beers. Oh,
You didn't do yourself any favours.
no, I didn't. No. Oh man, it was good. I was in a great mood, and several people after had no idea. They told me, "Oh, I didn't even realise." I was like, "Oh yeah, I still got it.
I still got it.
Still can still hide it."
That
But I
time-
know with you, I was like completely honest.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I walked through the door, and you were like, "Oh, you called me over," and I was like, "Oh God." And I said, I can't remember exactly what I said. I was like, "Lex, do you require much of me?"
Yeah. So I went, so I'm really high. And I was like, yeah. You went, do I have to? Because I'm really high.
Yeah.
And I went, yeah, you do. People want photos. You went, oh no. Just like that. And then kind of looked really like disheartened. Like, I'm gonna fail to be able to photograph.
yeah. Did you get those photos? I think I've got.
I don't know whose, so they're not on my phone. Someone will have them. I'll find them.
Okay, yeah. I have
Are
no
they on
idea.
my phone? Oh, they might be on my phone. Hang on. Let me look.
Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
I
I've got...
smoked.
Oh, yeah, here you are.
Am I
Let's
baked? Do I look terrible?
You look quite smug.
Oh, there we go. I don't look too bad there, yeah. That's not a bad photo.
Yeah, no, look.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, you did all right. I'm going to see if I can find one where you don't look all right.
Oh,
I mean,
hilarious.
you literally don't move for any of them. Nothing. Everybody else's body position changes. You are absolutely rock solid.
It's because I'd got one position. I was like, "Yep, this is the one I'm sticking
This is the
with."
one. This is the one. I think there's a moment here where you're like,
I'm not even able to blink.
yeah. There's a bit here. Actually, I think you should get high more for photos. You look quite. Yeah, I don't think. I think you should maybe get high because look how natural that photo looks.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's a good
That
natural
is
smile.
like the ultimate natural smile in a photo.
My eyes are a little bit more squinty than they probably would be normally.
But the makeup helps cover that up.
Yeah, true. That's not too bad. I'm happy with that.
all right.
I was expecting to.
I mean, there is one photo that represents your reality, I think. Yeah, that one. Where you're ever so slightly out of focus.
Yeah,
And
that's
weirdly-
that's how.
Only you.
That is weird.
There's 4 of us in that photo, and only you were out of focus. And we're all stood in a line on exactly the same
How
plane.
does that even happen?
I don't know.
Who took these photos?
I don't know.
How did this even happen?
I don't know.
Oh.
Who took photos.
But anyway, so it was good though. I was in a room full of people that I know and I trust, and that
Yeah, it always happens at the BCBs because you've got a few people that like an old toot.
Yeah. So no,
The best was when you all decided to do it at the back of the gym and forgot that you had a giant intake fan.
Yeah.
And so we're all stood there getting nicely twiddled, not realizing you're exhaling into a giant.
Well, the fan was above us. It only happened. It was only one drag that like they exhaled, and then we literally saw it come out, and then just go straight up into the fan, and then just blew into the gym. And then everybody at the same time just went,
"Ooh, someone's smoking."
yeah.
Well, I after that went to a zoo and held one of these.
What the fuck is that?
That is a South American hissing cockroach.
That's horrendous.
Yeah, actually quite cool.
Yeah.
Do you know, I walked in. You know when you walk in somewhere and you see something and you go, oh no.
Yeah.
Because it's like a giant cockroach. Every time I've seen anybody pick up bugs, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Look at it. But there was this unassuming little girl monitoring these bugs.
Yeah.
And she was like, would you like to hold one?
Yeah.
At which point I was like,
Yeah, of course I would.
of course I would, yeah. If I'd nibble its head off if you asked me to. Like, it looks tasty, that does, mate. In my head, I'm going, absolutely freaking not. That looks like a pebble that became a demon. Right? No. The real one reason, because when we all die, those fuckers will still be alive.
Yep.
You can nuke everything, they don't care. And then I held it. It's actually really chill. It didn't care at all. It was really gentle. It's not anything icky. And I was like, oh, it's really cool. And I sat and chill with it for a while. And now I would pick up a cockroach again.
Well,
Yeah, and that was a hissing one. It wouldn't hiss though.
really?
Yeah,
Did you hiss at it?
I wanted it to hiss, but you have to make him mad to get it to hiss. And she was like, "No, it's too chill on you. It doesn't care." I was like, "Oh," and then there was one of these two.
Oh, hairy boy.
A tarantula.
Nice.
But they don't even feel them. And then there was also I found my lookalike, and I'll put this up on the screen.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Yeah.
Got the same beard.
Yeah, so you can see me on the right and a goat on the left wearing a.
I like
Waterproof
how you had
jacket.
to clarify. Okay, I thought you were the one on the left, actually.
Yeah.
You also had your surprise birthday. Oh, yeah.
There's a video of the.
That's massive.
Yeah, it's huge. Kind of chill though, isn't it? Yeah, so then I had yeah, that's true. And then I had a surprise birthday meal.
Yeah, which we all nearly died on the way to.
Yes. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, we did. Yeah. So a surprise meal was arranged for me with family and friends. I had no clue about it. It was especially funny because, we'll get when I arrived there, the place that we arrived to outside, their big advertisement was that it was a pub with pesto, and I was like, what pubs have ever needed pesto? And what pub has needed pesto so much that they want to advertise the fact that they discovered pesto? I said, where the hell are we? Because I had no clue what was going on at this point. We'd driven an hour, really, to get there. And in the drive, so it was that kind of subtly torrential rain. the whole day. So what that means is floods, big aquaplaning puddles, and we hit a puddle on the way there that I've never experienced before. It washed the whole car as we hit the puddle. It was like a cartoon, just black. Everything went black. It covered the headlights, the winds. Everything just went. For an instant, there was nothing. It was like you were in the middle of a car wash. Yeah. It was crazy. And you know what my reaction was? I laughed. Apparently, I don't scare easy. Even though I thought, oh, death, I laughed. Yeah, I think because you just don't think anything's going to happen. Yeah. So, I don't know. Don't know what that reaction was. Anyway. So, yeah. And then when we got to the pub, the Pesto pub, which then underneath it said something like, the pub with pesto, and then it was Cabbage
Hall.
Cabbage Hall.
Yeah.
I was like, what? So they found pesto, and before that, they were proud of cabbages. What? Where are we going? And when we walked in, honestly, out loud, I said to the person at the desk, I said, you're right. I said, you haven't run out of cabbages, have you? And they looked at me like, what are you talking about? Like, clearly nobody's made this joke before. Yeah. I thought it was hilarious. Yeah. So...
What was the reaction?
He didn't know. He just said, what's the name under? Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just getting nothing. Yeah, he looked at everybody else in the party but me. I was like, okay, cool. Then we came around the corner, and then all you lot were waiting. It was lovely.
Yeah, because your mom lives in Manchester.
So, yeah, the reason we went to the Pesto Cabbage Patch was it was the middle ground ish.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the middle ground. So I think
between mum and me.
Like a couple hours, we came a couple hours. You came an hour. Mark.
Yeah. Because Lee's like equidistant to what you were in comparison. The other way. Yeah, you two were the end points. Yeah.
And it was weather was bad on the drive down.
Bad. And then it turned out it was good food, but it turned out to be an Italian tapas, which I think's wrong. Isn't tapas Spanish? I swear tapas is Spanish. Let's ask the Lord.
Anyone says tapas, I just think tapas.
The Lord of.
That's just where my brain goes straight away. I don't think, tasty food. I just think of an innuendo.
Yeah, Spanish. Traditionally, a small savoury dishes, snacks, appetizers of Spanish cuisine. So it was an Italian Spanish restaurant that specialised in pesto, which again is Italian, yes, and then cabbages, which is British allotments.
It was confused.
It was very confused. But the waitress was lovely.
Yeah, she was lovely. Food was decent, wasn't
it?
Yeah. Overall, it was really good. And it was fun. Everybody.
Yeah, it was fun.
Funny seeing your surprise.
Yeah. And then so you bought me 2 lovely bottles of whiskey and some sweets, which was awesome.
Yeah, big old bag of sweets.
Yeah. 1 bag has gone, yeah. And I may or may not have eaten that last night in bed.
What about have you tried the sherbet?
No. That looks like diabetes in a bag.
Exactly.
Shall I go get it?
It's not really practical to eat.
Oh, okay.
Really, now. You've got to look like a slob, just like...
Oh, we'll do that when we've had a toot.
Yeah.
When you've got more time.
Hopefully next week, yeah. It's I didn't realise that because it's not bonfire night, but it is.
Yeah, that's a question. Does anybody go to bonfires anymore? It seems like a expensive affair. 25.
To Stourbridge Rugby Club, fucking everybody in the entire world's going.
Did they charge you to go in?
I think so, yeah.
See, because when I was up north, it was just like an event put on by the council, the town council. And you all went along, and it was just a big fire and some fireworks put on by the council for the entire town.
Just to keep them.
Yeah, but what would happen is all the stores would stay open later. Yeah. So it would be incentive for the town, everyone to make money on the night. It was a great thing. And now I went to look to go on here, £35 a car. Oh. Yeah, £35. They put a firework display, 2 fireworks displays on, and then a big fire. But £35 a car.
Yeah, to be honest, all the ones I've been to that are near me, they're all private. Like there's a place, Himley Hall, not too far from me, and that does the biggest firework display in our area. I don't know how much the tickets are on that, but that was always the one that everyone used to go to, and the fire was fucking huge, always huge, and every single year, they build it all up, massive pallets, like building pallets for it, all ready to go. Every year. Someone sneaks on and sets it on fire before.
Really?
Yeah. So every year, like a few days beforehand, they're having to like do
Put
it
it-
all again.
Oh no.
They always prep it, and it always gets burnt
They
out.
don't learn.
I remember this was a real long time ago when I was a kid, and you know they got that Harris fencing, so the portable metal fencing that sits in those big plastic blocks. Do you know what I mean? Like the portable. There's those huge plastic feet.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they're
yeah,
sitting-
yeah,
they're
yeah.
Quite
Yeah.
probably like 3 meters wide, and they have that all around the perimeter to make sure that's as close as you're. allowed
Yeah.
to get
Hey,
to the
dummy. It's a fire. Stay away.
and yeah, so the one I was on, it got so hot that the plastic blocks started melting into the fence.
It started wilting.
The fence started like collapsing in.
Why didn't they anticipate that? It's
Well,
plastic.
They've obviously messed up. Cause we were far away. Like,
Yeah.
The thing that was weird is we were stood there and we were okay. But the
the-
plastic blocks were melting. I was like,
Maybe-
hotter than we realised.
Yeah, just slowly, like a frog in a slowly boiling pot.
Yeah. I was like, I think I'm gonna go and like get to move back a little bit. I feel like if these plastic blocks aren't doing too well, I'm not sure what my face is doing.
My mum's friend used to have a massive one in their woods because they basically owned land around their house, which was basically a giant woodland down all the way down. Because they went on, you know, on these drives when you drive up them and you need a 4x4 to get up the drive because there's that many potholes. It was one of those places, and so they used to every year. It was amazing. They'd kit their barn out with like a barbecue, big barrels full of drinks, jacket potatoes on the barbecue, all going in tinfoil and all that stuff, and then toffee apples and everything. Everyone brought their own homemade toffee and stuff like that. It was wicked. Massive bonfire, so all the kids and everything was there. No safety fences whatsoever. But then obviously through the night, all the kids steal drinks, and it was Woodies. Do you remember Woodies? They were like WKDs, but like,
Oh yeah.
and they were called Woodies, and they actually tasted better than WKDs. Almost, some may say, too good because they taste like juice.
Yeah.
Now,
They were like an alcoholic J2O.
Alcopop, yeah, yes, that's a good way to describe them actually. What I always like to describe them as is vomit juice, because we drank those like they were orange juice, and quickly realised it was not the same effect. As you didn't just need to do a poop or a wee, no, you needed to vomit out my face, and but up until vomit out my face, great time. Funniest thing is though, wandering back into the barn when you're half cocked, trying to pretend you're not at like 15 years old. So you suddenly go from being this 14 and 15-year-old blary thing to, hello, mother, I'm just here for one jacket potato. I shall be putting it in the microwave now for 1 minute and 37 seconds. Nothing to see here. This is the worst cover-up ever. Turn into David Attenborough. Here we have a jacket potato. I shall be cooking it in the microwave. And yeah, we then proceeded to eat our jacket potatoes by the now dying bonfire, where we took apart air bombs, took out the gunpowder bang bit, and we threw them onto the bonfire. Yeah. And we're like, this is gonna be awesome. Nope, nothing happened for about 20 minutes. We'd forgotten about it after 10. Yeah. So 10 minutes after we'd forgotten, we thought we were being shot at. These things, which went boom, 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 all off. But because they went with such violence, at this point, the bonfire was just almost like the glowing cinders. It just went poof, there were these huge fireballs just up into the air. Poof, poof, poof. It was awesome. Until someone threw a Lynx can on there. Why is there always a Lynx can nearby when you're that age? 14, 15, Lynx can always within 6 feet of you. And that was not so fun because that lodged itself in a fence when it exploded. Yeah, do not throw those things on fireworks. They make a big bang, but the metal goes somewhere. Yeah, and we found, it was literally in a fence.
Yeah, I was going to say, if that fucking hit you.
Yeah, not good.
That's like going
That's hospital.
through you.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
go through, but like getting stuck in you.
Yeah.
I remember
Although you'd smell great.
a little bit burny though.
Yeah.
At least the wound would instantly cauterise as well. Yeah.
Straight in.
Cut you and cauterise you.
I smell skin and Africa. Africa is still the best smelling deodorant
I always liked
ever
that,
made, I think.
What was that chocolate one? Was it just called chocolate?
You just smearing chocolate on yourself.
It was Lynx chocolate, wasn't it?
I love this deodorant. Dairy milk, I think it's called.
Yeah,
Just a giant bar. Rubbing it out.
Yeah,
I never knew there was a chocolate one.
they did Lynx chocolate.
Oh, a Lynx chocolate. They did a Lynx one. And I don't know what it was, but it was like they've done a Marmite one. It's horrific. It's
Marmite?
the worst thing.
No, they have not.
I've got it out there. I got it last Christmas. It is disgusting. It is like Java and Marmite or something.
Why would you want your
I
armpits
do
to
not
smell
know.
like Marmite?
And they don't smell good like Marmite. You'd be better just letting them stink up. It's terrible.
I
It's
can imagine, like, because the thing is, with all of the deodorants, a bit of your body odor kind of goes into
Yeah, it
that
becomes-
smell,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
but makes it more pleasant. Whereas, like, Marmite is not the thing that you would like.
I mean, who even thought of that?
I'm gonna partner with Marmite.
Our dairy milk idea is better than that. But there's who in the office was like, this year, boys, we need to come up with something a little bit, bit out of the ordinary. We need something from left field. There's John in the corner, he's been late for breakfast. He's just walked in. As he comes through the door, he's like got a plate, a cup of tea, and half a piece of toast in his mouth covered in Marmite. And one of the blokes has gone, genius. Done.
What we do.
Right, off to the pub.
Do you reckon, like, whoever fucking owns Marmite, they've just been reaching out to every other company
To use their stuff in anything.
Marmite sales are down across the board.
Marmite motor oil.
Yeah, so
Marmite car fresheners. Oh, actually, I might not mind a Marmite car freshener.
that's got to be a fucking.
But spraying Marmite on your body is weird.
It's really weird that. I have no idea why they would do that.
No.
No.
I think I'm pretty sure it was Java Marmite blend. Try and find it. If you can find Marmite links, buy it for somebody you don't like. If you get a Marmite links this Christmas, that person doesn't like you.
Talking of gifts, now we've actually gone through this. How fucking nice is it?
It's delicious. Even after the cigar,
Yeah.
it still doesn't go overly smoky.
No.
That is.
Solid that.
It's a very, so it's a little bit peppery with heat, but the heat stays in the mouth. Doesn't warm the chest, it warms the mouth.
Warm the cockles.
Yeah, it does. And then it doesn't really dissipate either. It's a very solid taste throughout. It doesn't get too much softer. It starts very smooth, but stays with the same heat and the same spice as you're going along, which is testament to the older a whiskey is. The kind of the more sustainable that flavor palette is for it, isn't it? Yeah. From start to finish. So yeah, Evan Williams. That is a hell of a gift if you want to get one. It looks great. It tastes great. It is a Kentucky bourbon, so it's not overly smoky. There's a little hint of smoke there. A little bit of smoke on the back of the palate. But other than that, it's pretty much just peppery, datey heat.
Yeah, it got lost a little bit of sweetness. I enjoyed that.
There we go. So that's our tales. I think that's all our tales for now.
Yeah, I think that's everything. I think next week, what I was thinking about.
I was going to have a rant this week about some stuff. I had a bit of a ranty week. You know when you're just looking around? Because, I've got myself a challenge.
We're finishing on a rant.
Actually, can I finish on a rant?
Go for it.
Yeah, right. Okay. Listen, it's a gym rant. I have a few rants. The gym one was the last one that came to my head. I was in the gym the other day, and I was watching
Which gym?
the one with old people in it. So, Bannatynes. It was a close one, yeah. Got my band on, representing. Swoop. Still, like the problem is they give you this band, and it's kind of cool because you lock your lockers with it, and you do everything, you beep yourself in. But if you gotta like have it on you, it's not like a key ring. You gotta wear it, and so if you forget it, which I do, because I'm not gonna wear. Well, I'm still wearing it now. But it's not cool enough to wear all the time. So
Yeah, especially when you see loads of old age pensioners walking around.
yeah, with it just as banner. There's no need for it to have all this down the
So,
side.
like, for about 5 minutes, they're staring at it, thinking their watch, trying to work out what the time is. Bit like,
Yeah. Yeah.
New glasses. It looks like it's gonna be a clock.
I think the idea is you can clock into the cardio machines with it as well and stuff, and it tells you all that's nonsense. It gives you your heart rate and stuff.
It's cool.
Yeah,
It's a cool idea.
good idea, but a bit meh. Anyway, I was just looking around, and other than the fact that 90% of people in the gym do not have a fucking clue what they're doing, which is bizarre to me. Like, how are they in there? Who's not teaching them? Someone needs to walk around and stop these people harming themselves. It's just like today I watched a guy, I couldn't even tell you what the exercise he was doing. It's like he went from doing a tricep behind the head lift to
It's like jacking somebody off.
yeah, so he went from jacking someone off behind his head to literally just pulling it backwards and forwards like this. From going from behind the head to the front of the head. And that was it. That was his motion. I do not know what he thinks he was working.
So
He was stood up. He was doing a pullover but stood up.
Yeah. But the gravity was
For
not
just
working
just
again.
0 point, yeah. Yeah.
He
And
was
then
doing an assisted
The other thing he did was get a kettlebell and swing it all the way up above his head, so his arms are fully straight above his head. Then he'd just let it swoof back down, and then he'd whip it all the way back up there. I don't know if he was trying to, I don't know, maybe it was penance. Maybe he was trying to atone for his sins. I don't know. Just
the tricep push down extension.
whipping himself. Holy Mary, Mother of God. Yes, there's a bit of that going on, but the main one was this, right? Stop going to the fucking gym and thinking that just because you go into a gym that you're doing anything of fucking worth. Anything that requires results requires fucking effort. The amount of people I saw in there on a machine, their primary focus when they were in that gym was talking to somebody or checking anything else that was going on, whether it be their watch, their phone, or anything. And the fucking sets were the last thing on their fucking mind.
Yeah.
And yet these people, at the same time, would judgingly look around at other people. I saw it.
Yeah.
Because I was judgingly looking around at everyone.
The thing that annoys me the most is when people are actually like, it normally only happens on like a leg extension or something like that. And they're, like texting.
Yes, drives
while
me up.
you're on a leg extension, and the weight's like so light that they're just there doing
Texting whilst doing it.
Yeah, they're doing it, and like it's basically cardio at that point because
It's not even
like,
cardio.
Yeah, they're not even like it's not.
It's just motion.
Yeah, they've done like 50
So-
reps at this point.
There's that. So I watched this one. This isn't sexist, but it was women both times. Okay, I've seen plenty of men doing it was a guy doing the dumb shit motion thing, and there's plenty of guys do it. There were two women for these examples. One, she was on the inductor machine. She was talking to a friend. I don't know, a friend. It might not have been. The other person was leaning over onto the machine that she was using. So once again, interrupting somebody else during their workout. Clearly, and this other person wasn't in shape either. Clearly not giving a fuck that they're interrupting someone because they're leaning over the machine, stopping them even being able to use it. So that in itself is one thing. That tells you what their mindset's like. Because I would never dream of even talking to somebody during a set, never mind leaning on the fucking machine they're trying to use so that they couldn't use it. So they're conversing about some kind of bullshit. And then when that woman walks away, this other woman doesn't crack on with the 8-minute rest she's just had. Yeah. She does 2 reps and then her watch beeps. She stops, checks what's going on her iMessages, has a little something, and then goes back and does 8 more reps and fucks off. And I'm like, and you're going to come back in 6 months and complain that I saying to your friends all that, I'm going to the gym all the time, I just don't see any changes. Yeah. These are the fucking people. And it just drives me fucking crackers. Like, you're in there and don't just, she'd be like, I'll go to the gym for an hour every day. Yeah, you do 10 minutes fucking work. And it's not, and then there was somebody else on the elliptical machine. I'm not kidding you. She would have been better just going outside for a fucking walk through the shops. It was like, plod. This was the speed on an elliptical, which literally creates motion for you. Yeah. She was defying the motion it was trying to take. And I was like, and I just looked at.
Requiring more energy to go slow.
And I just looked at her and I just thought, she's the headphones in, all of the night kit on, and all this shit. And it's like, do you in your delusional little world, what the fuck do you think that is doing? Like you're in a gym doing.
You get bonus XP for just being in the gym.
This is what they think. They think you get bonus XP for being in the gym, and you fucking don't. Listen, so when you go to the gym, make it your fucking goal to work when you're in there, because this will cross over into everything else you fucking do. I guarantee these people do the same shit outside and complain when stuff doesn't happen for them. I guarantee it, because I know when I don't do shit here, stuff doesn't happen for me.
That's the thing, though. That's unfortunately the majority of. I don't even want to call Ballantyne's like a commercial gym because it's not commercial. Ballantyne's is like a premium spa gym.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's actually a decent gym though. Like I didn't think I would want to join it, but because when I went to look at it, I didn't think I was going to Ballantyne's. I thought I was going to one which is called the Shrewsbury Club. Yeah. I actually got them muddled up. So when I went in, I was like, oh, this isn't the place I thought it was. And then when I looked in the gym, it's all techno gym stuff, which is decent, and there's loads of plate loaded things. And there's actually a couple of really decent people that go there, like a lot of rugby lads and stuff all go there, and I don't know. I think you get corporate memberships, so you get like a lot of lads going there because it's through their work, so they're paying like next to nothing, where everyone else is paying through the nose. Yeah. So I think that's why there's a benefit of it, because it gets corporate stuff. I think they up it a bit.
So yeah, I think that's unfortunately just the the way that a lot of chain.
I don't mind that. Listen, I don't want.
They are a gym. They're not to help you get in shape. They're a building full of gym equipment. The rest is on you. You got to figure it all out.
But you see, in equal spade, there's little old ladies in there kicking ass. Like, there's little old ladies I look at in there and I'm like, I hope I'm fucking like that when I'm as wrinkly as that.
But I think as well, a lot of time, people, you've got to have your shit together enough to sort it out yourself. And most people, just aren't even aware. Most of those people that are probably there doing those lazy ass workouts or not even really working out don't know that they're not working out. They think that that's what everyone else does in the gym. They think that turning up, they can't look at your workout and you sweating and differentiate, oh, that guy's doing something different to me.
It's not even that, like, I don't expect them to be anything like me, but I just can't fathom where in their brain they think this is a worthwhile part of their time coming in and doing what they're doing. Like, because they're going to be complaining about it, yet it's their fault. I guarantee that they're not going home happy and seeing changes. They're only getting worse because literally what they're doing is having zero impact.
Yeah. And however long they're there. Say it's an hour. Like, the hour's still the hour, whether they put the work in or not.
That's what I mean, and that's what they're doing.
The hour.
I've been in for an hour. Yeah, but literally that's all you've done. Walked into the building for an hour and walked out.
Yeah, you've done 10 minutes work, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know, it's driving me potty. And it is, I think, because we do train in more weightlifting focused gyms as a rule. So going to one of these commercial ones has really opened my eyes as to how much more work these businesses should be putting into showing people how to train. And also, I think they're scared of saying, like, I was watching the PTs in there. Yeah. Oh my God. I know. They literally, it makes me mad because these people are paying, but I don't know whether it's for the socials or whatever, like, not socials as in media, as in like, oh, I had to chat with someone.
Yeah.
I watched one PT whilst chat through and with the person she was PTing whilst they were doing an exercise. Full chat. Yeah. Like, exercise was secondary to the chat. Yeah. And it was just mind-boggling. And I thought it was better there. I thought they would be better there because these people must be paying through the nose. No.
It's not, generally, it's worse most of the time, which is it's unfortunate that that's kind of where the priorities lie. But that's it all the time. The amount of people we get in, the amount of coaching clients that we get in, and they've been training
in
at places for years,
yeah,
and they still come to me, and when I start asking them questions, they're like, I have no idea. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, it's all right because I'm kind of used to it now.
Yeah.
But that's the norm. That's more often than not, they have no idea. And they've also worked with personal trainers in the past and they still have no idea. So it's not that they've just not made progress, that they've actually paid for somebody to help them and that person hasn't even given them the basics.
Yeah.
And like, that is...
Here's the basics for you.
Very common.
If you ain't sweating... and you're not hurting, and you're not questioning if you can go on, you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
It's that fucking simple.
Yeah.
So please, stop being taken for a ride, or stop taking yourself for a ride. If you're going to go, just listen, put in the fucking effort, and make sure that you're being progressive. Make sure that you're not being taken, stop being taken for a ride. Stop letting people charge you to have a fucking chat. Stop going and thinking, when you go in to do some work at a gym, your main priority is the workout, not saying hello to everybody, having a chat. You can do all that, but just do it at appropriate moments. Do it before, do it after, not in between. Get your focus, get in there and put the fucking work in. Because I don't know. I just think with too many people living in this delusion that they're going to the gym. And you're walking into the building and not actually putting any fucking work in and you're complaining that nothing's happening. Nothing works when your diet works. I train all the time. Yeah, you're going to be disheartened because you're not actually putting any fucking effort in. Then you're not learning what effort actually feels like. You're not learning what being progressive feels like. And you're not learning what discomfort feels like. So the moment you feel discomfort, you stop.
Yeah, you check out.
And you check out and you're done. And that will pass through into every other fucking thing you do, I guarantee it. So yeah, just do it so it stops annoying me.
Yeah,
please.
Do it for Lex's sake.
Do it for me. So that when I look around the gym,
when he's not here, you can doss around.
Other people kicking ass that I can look at and be like, "Fuck yeah!" and then it gets me back in.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty eye opening, isn't it? When you go back to those places,
it's unbelievable.
That's where we all started. Most of us.
It's unbelievable. It's crazy. Just the sheer lack of knowledge. So if you don't know, ask. If you don't know, ask. And also, if you're training something and 8 other body parts are moving other than the bit you're training, you're not doing it right. That's pretty good one to go off.
Yeah, that's always a good shout.
Yeah. If everything else is moving alongside, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
But that was all. That's my one rant. I had a few things.
Well, we'll leave it.
have a
We'll leave
ranty
it at
one
that
next
one.
week. But they're all with positives. I just want people to do better.
One thing I was thinking on the drive down that we haven't done in ages. We haven't done a good Q&A.
Oh yeah,
So maybe next week
Q&A.
we'll get a video up on the stories.
Yep.
And I want them to be like old school,
Old
stupid,
school
like
stupid question Q&A.
would this
there we
would
go.
this
So
win in a fight versus that? Or
next
like,
week we'll have a comedy rant and a Q&A.
Yeah.
And it will lead us into our festive seasons as to come, because it's going to be. I think it's going to be a fun Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Cool beans. Right.
Well, I'm gonna go
Been a
home.
pleasure. I know, sucks.
I know.
But yeah, you got to get home for roll over the dog so he doesn't try and eat everyone because of boom booms in the air.
Yeah, all the fireworks going off and stuff like that. It's first bonfire
bonfire.
night, so we'll see how we.
Hopefully he's
how we
just
handle
chilling, doesn't care, and that'll be it for the rest of the time.
it. Yeah, fingers crossed. We'll have to see.
There we go. So it's, as always, leave behind in the week that's gone all the bad, bring forward what was good. Hope you had a great and safe bonfire weekend, and we'll catch you in the next one, which will be comedy rants and Q&A.
Farewell, everybody.
Toodle pip.
pip.